It was an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. I was fed up. I start at 6 o'clock in the morning and sometimes as early as 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning I start and I finish about 10 in the morning because they need drivers early in the morning. That's where seems to be the most work. And in the daytime there is no work because they've taken on too many drivers. So I'm thinking, right, I'll get up early in the morning. And that means now I've got no social life. I've got to go to bed really early at night so I can be up early in the morning to be able to do the day shift. One mistake and they log you out. Well, I'm thinking, at least ask me what my view is. They just don't care. All they seem to care about is how much money they're making. And my other friends, they're in different jobs and they all seem to be saying the same thing. Bosses have got no respect for us. Managers don't give a crap. All they just think about is themselves. The productivity that you put in. They think that you're being paid for what you're being doing, that you don't deserve any respect. In fact, the more disrespect they give you, the better they actually feel, like they like to use their position to press you down. There's just no respect. It doesn't matter who you talk to nowadays. That's how it is. I got fed up with it. I wanted a way out. So I started doing a lot of research. What else can I do? I didn't have much money. I had friends who went into business that went bust, went back to working for the companies they were working for because they couldn't just cope with the pressure of having to, like, one of my friends, he went on to invest over £100,000 and he opened up a huge convenience store and got the premises on the main road as well and started selling lots of meat and groceries and fruit and veg and all that stuff. Lots of people in the surrounding area, but couldn't keep up with the customer. Couldn't keep the customers coming in. Couldn't keep up with the competition. And the business just went slower and slower until it reached a point where he was losing money. He couldn't even afford to pay the bills anymore. And then he just shut the shop down eventually. And when the shop, he put it up for sale, he couldn't sell it. Then he shut it down. And then he still couldn't sell it. Eventually somebody went and bought in for all his stock off of him for less than 50% of the value. Now the stock's gone, shelves are gone, and he just had to let the thing go. The whole thing over a period of 3 years cost him 100 grand. Other friends of mine just left their jobs, the businesses that they were in, doing different things, and started. Somebody went for lorry driving, somebody became a cab driver, started doing different things because the bills just don't let you survive. So I knew that from people who've gone into business, that going into a business of my own, I haven't got the money, but even if I did, to make the profit after paying all the expenses was literally unheard of. And even if you did make the profit, then you got tax and VAT and all these extra things coming in, national insurance contributions, staff wages and everything. It was like if you made £10,000 a week turnover, after covering all your expenses, you'd be lucky to go home with £1,000. I know a takeaway friend of mine who was doing £6,000 a week turnover. £6,000 a week turnover, and after paying for everything, he was going home with about £1,000 a week, and I couldn't believe it. £6,000 a week on the main high street as well, and he was struggling to save £1,000. There's another friend of mine. He had another takeaway, and in that takeaway, he was there from 12 o'clock in the afternoon till midnight, and he was struggling. And that's on the main road. And there weren't many takeaways next to it either. He was struggling. A takeaway being the fast food industry, they were struggling. Another friend of mine opened up a cab company, went bust because he could not get enough customers coming in. So I'm thinking, am I supposed to stay here now as a driver? Am I supposed to stay with this double glazing firm selling windows when the business is drying up, and if we don't perform, we don't get paid? What am I supposed to do here? So I couldn't see a way out in opening my own business, because it was like, even if I did manage to get the money together and open up a business of my own, it was like, I can't see me having 5 minutes spare to spend with my family. The whole purpose of having a business of my own was that if I had a business of my own, then I can break free from the shackles of suffering for working for someone else, being told what to do, no respect, making somebody else rich, not adding any value to my own future, any the value to my life in the future, where I want to ever get to live the life I want. It was like being in absolute prison, being told what to do that you didn't want to do. But then breaking out of there and going into another world where you have a business of your own, I couldn't see that being any better. In fact, that having more pressure, if anything else, because now you've got to do everything yourself and make a profit. Which is why I began to wonder, so if I can't work for these guys because they're the way they treat you and you've got no future with working for somebody else, 5 years I'll be working for somebody else, 10 years from now I'll be working for somebody else. What's happened to my life then? What about me having to work all these hours and never having a holiday? Never having the money to even meet my bills, go out once a month, take my family out. If I can't do that, what's the point of working? But you have to survive. I couldn't find a way out. Then I thought, well, everybody's not born with a golden spoon in their mouth. Not everybody is rich, born rich. So how did they get there? How did they make it? I started doing a lot of research and a lot of study as to what's going on. I knew that I didn't want to stay where I am. And I knew that the way the government's built the system, it's built and designed that you can't make it. They will not let you get out of the circle. As soon as you're making 50, 60,000 pounds a year, bang, and that comes in the heavy taxes. So I'm thinking, what is the way out? How do you get out of this situation? And I sat down and I did a lot of research, a lot of study that there's got to be a way out of this. And I realized that 95% of the people never get out of the circle. They always remain working for somebody else because they can never work out the puzzle or not willing to get up and do something about it. But I was. I am not going to stay here and be a slave of the system that's not allowing me to open my own business. They're forcing me to work for someone else where I have no life. And if I do work for myself, they will cause my bankruptcy within 5 years, because 95% of the businesses, small businesses and new startups, go bankrupt within 5 years. So that was a no-go area. So lottery's 17, 20 million to one chance. So what's my way out? There isn't one. But I didn't believe that. There's got to be a way out. So I started doing research and study, and I knew one thing. There is no way I'm going to allow the government to force me to stay working for someone else, being told what to do, and never having any money to even pay my bills. I'm not going to allow the government to stop me in that trap. And then if I get out and I open my own business, they're going to make sure that I go bankrupt, because the tax, the VAT, the premises, the wages, all these things just made it literally impossible for you to survive. And even if you did survive, the profit you're making is going to be nowhere. Even if you make the same money as you are when you're working for someone else, and you think, if I'm making £300 or £400 a week without having all of that headache, why do I want to go into a business on my own? Hence that explained why 95% of people just don't do it. There's got to be a missing link. That's what got me onto a massive, huge study. What is it out there? Because I'm not staying here. There's no way I want to let you do that to me. So I started doing study. And in the study, I found online that there are courses you can do so where you can study and master how other people have done it. So I started buying these courses, and I thought, at the moment, it's 20,000, 30,000 pounds that you have to go into debt to get a degree for 3 years for a job that doesn't exist. So I'm not qualified and educated in anything else. I don't know what else to do. And even if there was, the way the businesses are going, nothing seems to be working. I wanted a solution. What works? So in my research, I found the light at the end of the day. There is a system. There is a formula. And that is, you have to do born identity. What is born identity? You got to find out who you are. Because who you are is not what the world's telling you, and it's not what you're thinking. So I started studying this course called Born Identity, and it started explaining to me that how you think, how the world thinks, is set to trap you into a system where you serve others. So it gave me examples that most businesses don't work. And the reason they don't work is because the people who are running these businesses, they think they do know what they need to know to make those businesses run successfully, when they actually don't know. And that's why the failure rate is so high. They try everything they do know, but the stuff they're trying is what they know, but it actually doesn't work. Those steps they're taking doesn't create the success in their business. And so what they tend to think is that because everything I'm doing to my business is not working, that's not my fault. It's because these things don't work. Then they start blaming the economy. Then they start blaming competition. Then they start blaming the too many shops are about, and the customers are not loyal, and they're doing everything they can. So they blame all the other forces except for the fact that they've never sat down and done research. Let me explain. My teachers started telling me that, how much time have you done learning how to do business successfully? And I said, none. So how much time did you spend to learn driving? And I said, about 8 months. Okay. And okay, how much time did you spend when you were in college doing your A-level? I said, years. And he said, so what's the like with degree? I said, 3 years. So I said, well, everything you learn in life that you know what to do, you spend time learning it, right? He goes, yeah. So why should business be any different? I didn't have an answer. How many years, how many months did you go to school, college, sit down with somebody who's actually learning and running a successful business, telling you this how to run it? Have you ever done it? I said, no. So how many people do you know who have gone into a business, who have done that, or who have not gone into a business, who have done that? I said, I don't know anybody who went out and I said, I'm doing a course how to do business. That's just it. So started learning, and it said that now the things are 95% of the people go online to purchase. That's the new era. The world is moving into online direction. So businesses are now selling online and customers are buying online. I said, right. He said, but 95% of them are going bankrupt at the same time. So even the businesses are selling online and customers are buying online, still 95% of the businesses are going bankrupt because they do not know how to advertise online that attracts the customers to come to them. I said, right, but there's 5% that are doing extremely well. I said, okay. So they started teaching me all the principles and strategies that are being tried, tested online to work. I'm not talking spending thousands of pounds. I'm talking spending millions and millions of pounds in working, testing and tweaking what works online or what doesn't work online. 98% of the stuff online does not work. That's why this causing a lot of businesses to go bust. I said, right. So then he explained it to me, how it works. And that's the first part. Then the second part is customers. What do you say to a customer that is looking for the product and makes the customer come to you instead of 50 competitors that you're dealing with? So they explained that to me, but they showed it to me working. They showed it to me to master it. Then they put the products and services online in front of me and brought the traffic in front of me and sold it in front of me when they had competition as well. They proved to me that this model actually works. And then to back it all up, they said that if what we teach you does not work, you don't pay. But we'll show it to you right in front of you. So I designed my own product that I wanted to get into, and I started putting it online. And that was talking to people about how to become run a successful taxi company. We put it online. I created a company and made this company go from 15 drivers all the way up to 56 drivers. I learned that online. I thought, oh my God, I never knew any of this stuff. And he said, this is what the 5% of the businesses do. They do things differently. And one of the things they do differently is they change the way they think. They do a shift in their thinking that they need to understand, they need to learn what strategies work best in business and then go and implement them. They actually do that. So when they come back, they implement those into their business. That's what makes these businesses work. So he gave me another example. He said, if you went into a business, what would you go in for? I said, well, I go in for truck driving and skip hire. And he said, why? And I said, because I understand how these things work. And he says, okay. He said, well, tell me then, if you did, what would be the main difference between your company doing what you do and your 5 competitors? Can you give me the 3 main differences between you and them? I couldn't think of one. And he says, can you see that? If you can't think of one main difference, then how can your customers? So why should they pick you over them? That's just one of the many things they told me. So it turned out that the reason why 95% of the businesses are going bust and not making enough money after paying tax, VAT, profit, their expenses not coming off with enough, because they do not know how to run the businesses successfully that can make exponential profit, that can cover all the costs and leave them plenty of money in the bank. They don't know how to bring in lots and lots of customers and sell products at a very high ticket, because they never learned. That's the problem. They never learned. And this is when I went online and started studying. I wonder if I could actually do this for myself. And that's when I spent 15 years mastering. 15 years mastering how to sell business courses online and train people up to run their businesses successfully by sitting with them one-to-one. I'll sit with you one-to-one, take your business and shift it and double it within a year, if not year and a half, 2 at best. And competition, economy proof. You design your product and your offers in a way the customers just come running through. That leaves you with lots and lots of profits. And if you do it online, and which is how things are going, then you'll be able to slowly remove your staff and streamline your business online to be able to sell products and services to people online. And even if you're having to go to door, it's how you do the business. I'll give you another example. We had this central heating guy, and he was doing one system every 2 weeks, installing it, and he was buying his customers from companies that were sending 10 competitors in. So he would go to a customer and give his price, and 5 others have been, and the customer would choose between the 6 prices, and he was having to knock his price rock bottom down to be able to win the business over. So he was making some little bit of money, but he was having to compete by beating people in price. So he saw our offer where we bring you in customers for free. So he gave us a call, we had a chat with him, and we said to him that we can streamline his business. What did he want? And he said, well, it would be nice if I could have one a week. And we said, well, yeah, but that means you're going to be working for the last 20 years. What do you really, really want? So after sitting down, we worked out for him that as he's very experienced in his business and he knows how everything works, how would it be that if he was able to sit at home and make sure that he's fitting about 2 or 3 systems a week and he's getting paid for it by turning his business into a company? But where would I get the customers from? So we showed him how to get the customers. So we showed him he was now able to bring in 3-4 customers who were buying from him every single week. So instead of doing one system every 2 weeks, he was doing 6-7 systems every single fortnight. But he was getting other people to do it. Now, by the time he's done 7 systems in a fortnight, he was making double what he was doing when he was working just by himself. After paying everybody, he was making double sitting at home. And we said to him, you could streamline this throughout the whole city. You could end up doing 10 systems a week if you was to adapt the strategy that we give you. That we employed that by giving customers offers on how to do the essential heating systems 4 or 5 times better than what his competitors were doing, and people were coming in. And we weren't doing it by beating them on price. We were doing it by giving them more. For example, you have £4,000 to have a central heating system fitted. We would do it for £3,500, and we would chuck in a free boiler with a 7 years warranty on it. So now this client of ours was only making £1,200 profit after doing all of that. But out of the £1,200 profit that he's making, after paying a few more, he was left with about 800 quid because of the offers. But he was making £800 for every system he was fitting. But guess what? Now he's doing 6-7 systems a fortnight. So he's making 5 times the money that he was making when he was just working for himself, because he was just struggling to get one customer in. So this was a shift in his thinking, how we designed the package for the customers, so there was more value in it for the customers, and they were coming to him instead of going to his competitors. His competitors were not offering what he was offering. People wanted value. He was giving a free boiler, which ended up the customers pay £3,500 for a system instead of £4,000. So he was saving them £500 on that. So the customer paid £3,500 plus the customer gets 7 years of warranty on the boiler plus 5 years of free servicing. If anything goes wrong with the boiler, he goes down there and he'll fix the problem. Radiators, he'll go down there, give them a free flush once every year in the winter. That costs about £300. He will do it for free. For 5 years, they will get free flushes. That was giving them nearly £2,000 extra. So they were ending up the system that had £5,500 system they were getting, and they were only paying £3,500 for it. By giving them extra value, he was able to now serve his customer on a higher level. When the customers were getting a lot of benefit, they started buying from him. So on a 3,500, after he's chucked everything in the system, the boiler, it would come out around about fitted, installed, about £2,500 would be what he would be paying for fitted, after paying his 2 fitters as well, right? That's for per system. Now he's left with £1,000 profit, £7,000 every fortnight, whereas before he was making £1,000. But he never knew how to do it. He didn't know how to advertise online, so we did it for him. He didn't know how to put the package together, so we did it for him. It gave him a lifeline. It broke him away, gave him more money for himself, for his family, so he could spend more time with his family instead of being trapped into working for somebody else, or trapped into a system that after you cover all your expenses, you got no money left. And that we learned from going on learning online courses, mastering how to get these skills where you put your product together in a way that massively delivers value to your customer, and then talking to your customer that actually connects with them. That's the secret to online success.